There we go. How's everyone doing today? This is a very random stream. I am, well, as you can see with the title there, going to be building my new streaming and rendering PC. And this is going to have the capture card in it to enable me to do the PlayStation streams and recordings directly through OBS. Yes, it is a surprise stream, Warpcore. I know. Can you believe it? You are first. You're also, according to this... Oh, no, there's Charlie. It still just says one concurrent viewer. So there's not going to be any notifications while I'm doing this because I just don't have them set up in this scene. So I do apologize for anyone who has something go off that I missed. There's also not going to be any chat up on screen because, again, I just don't have that configured for this scene. Intriguing. Trouble with tribbles. Yep, a really random stream. Gonna be building out the PC that I'm gonna be using for the PlayStation streams and all that. I had initially gotten as far as putting the CPU in, and I was like, I really should just like stream or record this. I think people would like that. Well, I mean, Warpcore, I mean, like, there's not going to be any notifications of, like, follows, donations. Like, if they happen, just, you know, just say something in chat and I'll have to look over. Casual tech tips? Terrible. So, for the build, this is going with an Intel 265K. Why Intel? Intel still does well for, like, the quick sync built into the CPU, and yes, I'm using an Arc GPU, which is a bit redundant there, but the prices on these have been pretty crazy low, just because they've not been the best sellers. Any buyer's remorse set in yet for console stow? I tried playing some other games on the PlayStation, and I am just not really much of a controller player anymore, so it's a bit different. I tried to play the Time Splitters games, and I am just not used to the controller interface anymore. I'm just not used to using a controller at all, really, to be honest. So for the motherboard here, this was part of a bundle deal over on Newegg. This is the Z890 Pro RS Wi-Fi. So in the first box here, it's just the Wi-Fi adapters, antennas, and then the part that we all really care about here, the motherboard. And below that is some SATA cords and all that I don't really need right now. Dead, yeah. That, look, I've watched enough Stargate Atlantis to know it's Zed. That's the correct Canadian pronunciation. You want to see the manly face of the Supreme FPS Commander? Terrible. Ken, how's it going? I'm Macho to space, oh no. Basically the point is for what I'm going to be doing with this is it's going to be handling all of the recording, the pass-through of the console gameplay with this AverMedia capture card, which I picked up on a really good deal used. And with DaVinci Resolve, I can pass any any renders I have like over to this computer to do. Yeah, Arc A380. I really like the Intel GPUs so far. So first thing I am actually going to do here is just get my SSD installed. I'm just using some old Gen 3 SSD. Like this computer, aside from the motherboard, CPU, and RAM, like it's all used parts from other builds and just stuff I've got lying around. So, like I said, I'd gotten a little bit into this, and I was like, no, I should do this like live or in a recording. So, I did already take the plastic off for the thermal pads here on this top M.2 slot. This is just an old 2 terabyte drive that I'm putting in here. Yeah, LTT screwdriver. Yeah, it's the Noctua one. Have that lined up? Yes, I do. Spencer is finally playing engineer. Yeah. Yeah, the LTT screwdriver is really nice. Your most recent PlayStation is a PS3. You own it for Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. What I've determined is with the PlayStation, if a game is on PC, you know, I'm gonna get it on PC rather than the PlayStation. Um, the thing is, you know, console's nice, but there's still things you can only do on PC. Like, you know, if I want to mod the game, I can't really do that over on console. Let's see here. Oh. CPU's in the slot. Yeah, Nvidia in the GPU market sucks. That's why a lot of people are rooting for the Intel cards. Like this here's an Intel Arc A380, and it's not the most powerful, but you know, when they came out with that, with its capabilities for like Plex, rendering, streaming, I was like, yeah, that's a great card to have on hand. I never had a Sega. We did briefly have like a Super Nintendo that I played with. DaVinci is editing software, but yeah, I can do rendering on this computer as well. You can get your own LTT screwdriver at lttstore.com. Yeah, AMD's got the lead on parts of the market right now, so they're also like they're nowhere near as bad as Nvidia, but I really don't like seeing cards with just 8 gigabytes of VRAM going into the market. So next up is going to be the RAM. So for this bundle, this came with 32 gigs of RAM, two 16 gig sticks. It is DDR5 6000 CL36. So not the best RAM, but it'll get the job done. Okay. Does this pop down? Nice. There we go. I do not have my Windows install drive ready yet, but even if I did, I don't have the ability to record me installing Windows. So this stream is specifically going to be just building the computer. There's no good guys in the market, just bad, worse, and fighting for any market share. Yeah, pretty much. Documents, how's it going? Yeah, I think they know that 8 gig is not great. That's why they didn't focus on it too much, you know, in the keynote or whatever they did yesterday, but yeah. Yeah, well, I mean that's what the bundle came with. It was the motherboard, CPU, and the RAM, plus a bunch of games like Civ 7 and all that for like 450. Yeah, AMD had a keynote yesterday. Now, for the cooler that I'm going to be using, I'm just going to use an old NHD 15 that I happen to have lying around. So I did have to pick up a new mounting kit. If I was buying a new CPU cooler today, it would have been one of the Thermalright ones for like $30. It was the 9060 XT with both 8 and 16 gig versions. That was what they announced yesterday, along with Threadripper. Trying to remember what else they announced. Oh, there's like an FSR 4 update coming later this year. Yeah, 300 for the 8 gig, 350 for the 16. And that's probably not going to be... The 16 gig card probably won't be that terrible. Yeah. Okay, so I need to install the NVIDIA mounting bracket here. And this is just going to go right into those 4 holes on the back of the motherboard. If I can line it up right. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all the creators have done their videos on all the prices and all that. Yeah. You have a 5700 XT at the moment. Probably want something a bit newer soonish. Warp Core, in your situation, I would go for like look for the 9060 XT 16 gig when that drops early next month. You know, at 350, you know, in general, if you can find one under 400, your current GPUs would still be able to be resold for a decent amount. So I would definitely go for that. Gibbs, thank you for the 5 gifted. Very much appreciated. Yeah, just go for a 9060 XT. You know, it's not going to handle games at 4K, but for 1080p and 1440, it'll do fine. That lighting is... I've got all the lights set really high, so it is very bright in here. But yeah, the thing is, too, with RDNA 4 there, the 9000 series, those have support for FSR 4, which is something you're not going to get on the 7000 series. Yeah. They're named the exact same, so yeah, definitely make sure to get the correct one. Well, if your 5700 XT is doing everything you want at 4K, then you should be able to do pretty well with the 9060 XT 16 gig as well. Bundus, how's it going? I'm gonna have to do a video too, like seeing how the Arc A380 handles stow now in 2025. When I initially tried this, oh, how long ago was this? Like year and a half, 2 years ago, there was like some weird artifacting if you had some graphics settings set in a certain way. But this card, I mean, it's a bit dusty. A lot of these parts are going to be pretty dusty because they're pulled from systems, some old systems and all that, but they'll still work fine. Yeah. Defiant, that's a good question. I'm not going to be able to test that on this stream specifically today, but that could be an interesting video. Yeah. Okay, so the motherboard is done for now. I'm going to move things to the side here. Also going to move the motherboard to the side for the moment. You need a decoder ring to... Well, the mobile ones are really bad, yeah. But I need to get the case prepared. So for the case here, I did have to order a new case, and I went with the new Frame 4000. Gamers Nexus just did a video on this, and it seemed pretty solid. So I'm going to get the side panel off here first. And how did this pop off here? Like, it's a very modular case, which I really like. I guess take the top panel off first. These screws are rather tight here. Sorry, you can't really see much on camera right now. Sorry if that came through the microphone. What is this stuck on? There it goes. Yeah, GTA 6 isn't even going to be out on PC for ages. Like that's part of why I picked up the PS5 is because like it's going to be 12 to 18 months before GTA 6 even gets over onto PC. Just getting this side panel off here quick. The screw's out, but it still's not wanting to come off. Hold on. Tape down or something? Like it's stuck on something. There it goes. Yeah, I got a PS5 Pro. This is the Frame 4000 from Corsair. Gamers Nexus just did a video on it. It's a really modular case. Like, you can take the motherboard panel out. I think it's like 4 screws to get it out, which is really quite nice. I do need to find the box here that has the screws in it, so just give me a minute. That is a different way. Normally they give you like a little plastic container with all the screws in it, but it's all just in a bag here. Not quite as convenient. Well, the idea is, you know, they specifically said is they want GTA 6 to sell consoles, and you know, Grand Theft Auto historically has been a a console seller, so they're going to leave it on just console for a little bit, just to help sell consoles. That's the entire point. Okay, I'm going to stand this up. You guys might not be able to see everything here as I do this, and I do apologize. I don't really have my setup quite set up for this, but for the power supply, I've got an ASRock Steel Legend SL850G. This is something I picked up a few months back when it had first come out and had a good rebate going for it. I think I paid 60 something in the end. Nice modular power supply. I think LTT Labs did a test though, and this failed their testing cycle for PSUs, so that was a bit of a bummer to see. But I haven't had any issues with it. I had bought it for my NAS, and then I had to take it out because I needed more like SATA and Molex connectors for all the stuff I've got going on in there. Okay. They've got 2 screws in the back here, which do line up. Sorry, you guys are not really seeing this part. Yeah, I need to figure out some additional like camera angles for this room. Okay, those are not the screws you're meant to use for the PSU. Okay, let me take them back out. So glad you have 0 interest in GTA. That's the best for your wallet. A GoPro? Yeah, I thought about grabbing one a couple months ago, and I really should have when there was a sale. But I've spent a bit too much in the past month or so, which is why there's also that funding goal. I should really be looking at the manual here, but their manual is only on their website, so that is a bit unfortunate. Okay. Get this screw back in here, and hopefully that will thread now. There it goes. 2 of them connected for right now. While I'm right here, I'm going to get the 2 PCIe, or not PCIe, the 2 CPU connectors routed up, which are just in this mess of cables. So there's one of them. Just move everything over to the side there. The other one's going to be right in front of me, and that's PCIe. Another PCIe. There it is. So I'm just going to preemptively get these routed up to the top of the case, which you guys cannot see because my camera angle is terrible right now. I do apologize. I'm going to just get the motherboard done there. I'm going to just flip this on its side for now. It's not sitting perfectly, but it's fine. Yeah, I picked up, was it the Corsair RM 1000X? Yeah, yeah, that's the model number. That was one off for the CPU connectors, so let me just get those rerouted quick. Yeah, a GoPro would make this a lot easier, wouldn't it? The audio connector does not need to be there. Or does it want to move, apparently? Live stream stow ship build, but cool. Arm reveal, nice. Terrible. You guys have seen my arms plenty of times before. I should be getting that screwed in before I go that far. Bearcat, how's it going? Just screwing in the motherboard to the standoffs. Looks like one or two more at the top here. Yeah, and I think the lighting's probably a bit too much right now. Okay, I'm gonna get this other CPU connector done. Nick, how's it going, man? You're watching me build an Intel computer. How's that make you feel? I've given Nick a lot of heat for running an Intel machine. He picked up a 900K KS or KF a while back, and it just caused him nothing but issues. Now I'm going to get some thermal paste on here. Yeah, Nick's here. That'll be fine. That ought to be enough. That's probably too much. This Kingpin thermal paste, this stuff is pretty handy. This thing is dusty. I think Kingpin, I think he's got his own website. Got food on the way. First rule of computer assembly: never put in all the screws. Well, it's for me. It's just generally been don't put all the side panels on until you're actually done. Chicken nuggies and hash browns, terrible. Now for the fans, with this being an NHD 15, I'm just going to use some of theirs, and these are dusty. These things were in one of my old X99 systems. Is that going to be too tall for this case? That might be too tall here. Yeah, this RAM's a bit tall. It's not perfectly aligned, but let me grab the side panel, just see if it even fits. Oh yeah, there we go. There's enough room. Okay. And when this thing goes on, it does not want to come off. What is it getting stuck on? Oh, there's a little catch right there for it. That's why I didn't want to move. Don't break the glass. Terrible. Now I need to put the GPU in. I am a slot off. Okay. Can this Intel PC run OSS 3? Yes. Yes, it can. I mean, truthfully, this is a pretty high-end PC aside from the GPU. How to do 2 mil DPS on all systems? Terrible. How about exceed rated limits 3? Terrible. And the only other thing is really just get the GPU in, or the capture card in. I need to look at the motherboard specs quick just to see which slot is actually like an X4. Okay, so they're both X4, but one of them is Gen 3, the other's Gen 4. Let me see what the Xaver Media card needs. Just bear with me while I get to this product page. If their website will let me. Does this need Gen 3 or 4? Gen 3, okay. Perfect. That means I have 4 extra lanes of Gen 4 that I can play around with. There we go. Now all that's left is plugging in cables. I don't know how much of that I'm going to actually be able to show here because of the one camera setup. You guys get to see the mess on the desk there. Okay. Every other cable I can unplug. So that is pretty much build complete. I mean, other than, you know, plugging in the front panel and all that, but yeah. Putting together a computer is not that difficult if you follow some of the guides out there, do a little bit of research, and you can find something pretty cost effective. See here. So yeah, this is a pretty short stream, just putting this together. I need to get into a little bit more cable management, but I mean that's it for like the core of the computer. I need to plug the fans in. But that's pretty much it. How long has this been going? Not even half an hour. No, 40 minutes, okay. Yeah, apparently that's only a thing on the 2 week long Red Alert events, which I didn't actually know. So thanks to Waldo, you know, for pointing that out. Stanky Boy, when do we get the bot farm computer stream? There is no bot farm. There is no bot farm. I know people really want to believe that there's like a bot farm operation going on here with my setup, but that's not the case. I'm sorry to disappoint people. Some of the screws they got on this thing are really difficult to get out. They've got this plastic bit here for if you want to just block off the bottom side panel, but I mean, I want the extra airflow. Yeah, this has been a really easy case to work in. And this is the Corsair Frame 4000. I know I'm not showing the entirety of the build just because I have limitations with my current recording setup, but yeah. Yeah, Mike, you can solo the red alerts in the private tab. Yeah, if you're looking to give yourself a different sort of challenge, you can absolutely do that. But there it is in all its glory. A big Noctua cooler that is cooling an Intel 265K, which is basically their latest i7. And then I have an Intel GPU in here, specifically the Arc A380. Then there's the AverMedia capture card. And this is what's going to be, you know, doing most of my streams moving forward, and also doing my video rendering. And it's also going to be handling Plex over the network. Because my my NAS has about 80 to 90 terabytes of storage on it, so this will be handling Plex for that because that computer's got some issues going on with it. And then, like I said, this is also going to be handling renders for me in DaVinci and all the streams. 400% more power than the current Stowe data center, yes. Plex is basically a piece of software so you can run your own Netflix. Dan, how's it going? This case also happens to have 3 fans in it right off the bat, which is really convenient. I did not get the RGB ones just because I don't really need the additional lighting. Yeah, but Plex is a paid-for service, so if you don't want to pay for it, you can just look up Jellyfin. It does basically the same thing. Where'd the mouse wheel go? That's currently over in the Stowe data center. Burnox, how's it going? But yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to do today on the stream. I know this is short, not the full thing. Again, limitations with me just having the one camera that I can use here. And it's not at a great height. I need to get that stuff sorted out. But you know what this is all enabling, as I proceed to knock everything over, is for me to more effectively stream and record the PlayStation gameplay for all of the upcoming STO related things that I'll be doing over there. Am I running 2 processors? No. This is 1 processor under an NHD 15. This is a 2-tower cooler. But yeah, I know this is a short stream, but that's really all I have for you guys. So, any final questions before I sign off? On the side, good for a little Star Citizen? Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I would need a better GPU in this for Star Citizen. I don't think an Arc A380 would do very well there, especially with only 6 gigs of VRAM. The Star Citizen menu screen. DocSent, thank you. Now I need to go do cable management, but it's also hard for me to stand this case up with the camera and light here, so yeah. Eventually I'll improve the setup a bit more, get some more cameras in here, but thought I'd at least share this process with you guys. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to hop into Discord or just ask in the comments below. But that is it for now. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys around.